is run by a bunch of investment bankers, and Morningstar's tools can help make
I'm Jason Stipp from Morningstar. We're reporting from the Value Investing Congress in Pasadena, and I'm here with Mohnish Pabrai from the Pabrai Investment Funds. He talked today about the use of checklists in an investment process, and he's going to tell us a little bit about that. Thanks for joining me, Mohnish.
Jason, great to be here.
So the first question for you, you went through some examples of some industries where checklists have become critical, and I think that you're sort of implying that you started some of your research about checklists there. What did you find in those industries, and what did you learn about how checklists were employed there?
Well, what I found is that they had profound before and after impacts. Life-altering impact. So, for example, in aviation, extremely unsafe to extremely safe, without much of a price being paid. The same with medicine, where the basic stuff, the most important thing I learned was that when you look back at investing mistakes or surgery mistakes or aviation mistakes, the cause is elementary, and the cause could have been prevented kind of a priori.
And it seems like one of the key things that sort of went across all the checklists was this idea of mistakes. So the checklist was born out of mistakes. So how important is that when you're thinking about building a checklist?
Yeah, I think mistakes is the best way, like the FAA does with aviation. I think it's a very powerful way because it means that, especially if you look at mistakes of the greats, it means that there was a great mind. It could be Warren Buffett, it could be John Templeton. It was a great mind that missed something elementary. And so one should ask, why did that happen?
And so you actually, tell me a little bit about the process of building this checklist. So, it's great to think, let's sort of think about people's mistakes, but you're actually going out and looking at, past reports from some funds and compiling these mistakes. How is that process working?
The processes work great. I did what I would call a quick first pass, where I've got about, 80 positions that my stocks and other people's stocks where they had mistakes. But I think I've only scratched the surface. So, for example, I'd love to, in fact, I'm going to do it this summer with the help of an intern. I'd like to look at Longleaf Partners or Third Avenue and look at all their mistakes over the last 20 odd years. And so first create the list of the mistakes. The second part, which is a little more difficult, is to reverse engineer what happened.
Sure.
In some cases, the Longleafs and Third Avenues have talked about it. Mm-hmm. So you can go to the letters and look at it. In other cases, they haven't. It has never been publicly talked about. So those will be a little harder to figure out.
About how many items do you have on your checklist?
There's about 80 items currently.
And so, do you find that that size of a checklist that, you can get bogged down in that, or how long does it take you to?
It actually goes very fast. I think running the checklist takes about half an hour.
And your checklist, is it something that other people could use, or how is it employed? I mean, how personal is the checklist?
Yeah, I think if I were to publish it, it would be of some use. But I think a person will get the most value if they built their own, because I think it would just get seared into their psyche better, and they would take it more seriously.
There's just some things that you as a person, you need that checklist.
That's right. Yes, that's right. I mean, I think each of us is wired differently, and we're going to look at things differently. So. And
have you credited your own checklist with saving you from a few mistakes since you started to implement?
I think it's been fundamental. A fundamental shift in Pabrai funds since the use of checklist.
Well, great. Thanks so much for your insights. I think it's a very useful tips for investors, and hopefully they can go out and make their own checklist as well. Thanks for joining me, Mohnish.
Thank you. All right, great.